We turn now to Special Attorney Ed Martin, who is speaking publicly about his investigation into mortgage fraud allegations against Democratic Senator Adam Schiff of California, as well as New York Attorney General Letitia James. Attorney General Pam Bondi appointed Martin, a conservative activist and former interim U.S. attorney for Washington, D.C., as a special attorney to look into the two Trump critics. Martin spoke to Fox News about the investigations over the weekend in an interview on Fox News.
We're going to go to the very bottom of the facts, and if somebody did something wrong, we're not only going to hold them accountable, we're also going to look at everything else that they've been doing, because when you're a liar, you lie not just on one thing. When you're a cheater, you cheat not just on one thing. When you're doing corruption, you generally don't just do it on one thing. So that's what we're asked to do as prosecutors, and that's what we're doing.
Wait. That's a Justice Department official?
Yes, it is.
I'm sorry. That's a Justice Department official?
Special attorney.
It's a rhetorical question, of course.
I'm going to answer it every time.
I mean, the fact that you have a Justice Department official ranting like that, I mean, yeah, you talk about breaking every political and constitutional norm. That's just outrageous.
Yeah, he was spotted walking around Brooklyn in recent days, checking out Letitia James' home. David, you've been writing about these investigations. And in your new piece this morning for NBCNews.com, you write in part this. For 3 years, Mike Davis, a Republican lawyer and former legal counsel to Republican Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa, has pushed for federal criminal investigations of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and senior FBI, CIA, and Justice Department officials. Now, a series of recent investigations approved by Attorney General Pam Bondi suggest to Davis that his long-sought goal is most likely approaching. So, David, to Joe's point, I mean, every norm shattered there from what we've heard from Mr. Martin, but you're suggesting might just be the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, they're Mike Davis, who we were talking earlier about getting outside of your bubble and talking to people. So Mike Davis is very influential in Trump circles, and he has been calling for these sweeping investigations of the last two Democratic presidents and the last Democratic nominee for ages. He sees this Ed Martin probe of Schiff and James as a sign in the right direction. And what he told me, too, is that there's a brand new U.S. attorney just confirmed by the Republican-controlled Senate in Miami. He's publicly calling, this is Mike Davis, for a grand jury investigation there using this very broad charge, denial of rights. That's one of the charges against Letitia James. And they're using it this is an ongoing investigation that's already started, that her civil investigations of Trump, that he overvalued his properties, which a judge ruled was correct and ordered him to pay $500 million in fines. They want to use that same broad investigation to say that Jack Smith or Barack Obama violated Donald Trump's civil rights. And that would be a grand jury.
So why out of Miami?
Because it's Port St. Lucie, the St. Lucie County Trump won.
Right.
And so the idea is it's maybe a friendlier jury pool. And the sort of broader interesting thing in what you said about the way Ed Martin was speaking, after Watergate, after Hoover's abuses,
right,
where you just had a weaponized FBI and DOJ, the American people made all these reforms in the 1970s,
right,
to have Justice Department prosecutors not say things like that in public, not smear people, not talk about investigations, present evidence in court, and don't abuse the power of the DOJ to sort of smear people like that. And all of this it appears to be changing right now.
I mean, this is so short-sighted. If you look, and I've said it before, you look at Comer, and what a fool he made of himself, going after the so-called Biden crime family. And if you look at poor John Durham, who had actually a good reputation until he went all over the globe trying to find, couldn't even get an indictment, and humiliated himself. And if you talk to Republicans, they will tell you that Donald Trump got reelected because of all of the criminal cases against him. And if you talk to Donald Trump will tell you, if they had only gone after me for one, I would have been in trouble. But they went after me for 5, and it looked like overreach, and it was too much. And it just seems to me that politicians would learn sooner or later that stuff that like Ed Martin's doing, them going after Hillary, it turns off the very people who decide who wins elections.
That's what we were just talking about that earlier,
Right.
that it's the independents. It's the people who want the economy solved, who want sort of peace in Ukraine, who want some stability. And maybe this is all just a distraction. Like, you announce a new investigation every week. We talk about Jeffrey Epstein, but how does it play in the long term? That's the question.
Owning the libs, alienating the rest of us.
Right. But and again, on stuff like this, you start going after Barack Obama, you start going after Hillary Clinton, you start going after Joe Biden, you start going after all of these people. There are the swing state voters who are going to go, you know what? I voted these clowns in to actually make eggs cheaper, to use their words, to throw their eggs back at them. I voted for these clowns to make eggs cheaper, to make butter cheaper, to make my groceries cheaper, to make housing cheaper, to make everything more affordable. And instead they're doing this. Again, it's just such a discordant message, and it is a political loser.
Well, but here's the question. The Democrats don't have a candidate that's the target of it for next time. Meaning Trump won because he was the target of all this stuff. Right. There is no individual, they can go after all the people from history. But does that then give Democrats some kind of new movement next time? I don't know.
Well, what it does is it turns off again the independent voters, the swing voters. When you look at, you look at one poll after another. Donald Trump may be at 37 or 38% in one. He may be at 45, 46% in another. But you look at all of these generic ballot tests, Democrats, they may have like an approval rating of like 3, but in these generic ballot tests, they're beating the Republicans, and it's widening now. It's widening after the big, beautiful bill. I think it's going to widen after this nonsense because, again, people care about being able to afford their life.
And that was the central promise of the Trump campaign, was that we're going to bring prices down. And none of this stuff, none of it does anything about that. And voters will be heard from. NBC's David Rode, thank you. His new piece available to read online now. CNBC's Andrew Ross Sorkin.
Of MS Now, baby.
MS Now, CNBC.
Not 5 minutes later.
With our own logos.
Now. Oh, does CNBC? So CNBC's going to have its own logo.
We're going to have our own logo.
$20 $sign with your face on the
I
cover.
don't know about that. And also, USA will be USA Sports. There's a lot of things going on.
USA Sports. By the way, speaking of which, we got the U.S. Open.
A couple weeks away.
Versant got the U.S. Open. Golf U.S. Open. On the move, baby.
On the move. Insurgent.
Hey, we are insurgent. We are insurgent. We are independent.
We are excited. And still ahead,